What is up YouTube, it's Merkshot here and welcome to a brand new video. And today I want to be taking a look at the brand new Blackout map / mode called Alcatraz. I don't really consider myself a Blackout player, but when I saw this thing dropping previously this week, I had to try it out for myself, and I'm happy to report that it's absolutely phenomenal and fun. It's better than I ever thought it would be, and that's shocking because, like I said, me not being a Blackout player, I didn't really prefer the Battle Royale just in general. It wasn't my thing, but Alcatraz is a whole different story, and it's a better one. The setting of Alcatraz is similar to the Zombies version of this map, which is in Blood of the Dead or Mob of the Dead, depending on what version you played, but nonetheless, it has new portions of the map previously unreachable in those Zombies maps. They got all sorts of new houses and different parts of the main prison site to explore, which is really cool. And the thing that really makes this whole experience unique, though, is how Blackout Alcatraz plays. Since the map is a lot smaller than the original Blackout map, there's tons of more action going on, and plus, when you factor in that you can respawn in this mode, you're never too far out from a gunfight of sorts. Really honestly, if I had to guess, the reason being is that probably people aren't afraid to play aggressive or to play more aggressive, considering you can always respawn if things don't work out. Now, there is a catch, such as you can't be in the final circle, or you can't have all your teammates die at one time. You need at least one teammate still alive when you try to respawn. But other than that, it's pretty much fair game. One of the things I noticed while playing is how hectic at times things can get, because when people respawn, especially a person that you just killed keeps landing at your location, it can feel like a never-ending onslaught of enemies constantly on your tail trying to kill you. And most of the time they eventually do, especially when they have a whole team drop at your location mid-game and just overwhelm you. However, it's a small price to pay when you consider how much fun this mode really is. My first 3 or so games of Alcatraz, I won, so needless to say, I was instantly hooked. And if you're like me and didn't enjoy Blackout in the past because it was just too slow and campy, well, I would definitely recommend that you guys go give this mode a try, because it plays like a multiplayer match more so than a Blackout match in a sense. And speaking of multiplayer, I would really like to see this map make an appearance in the multiplayer. It looks gorgeous, plays fast-paced, and more importantly, it has a flow to it. It shouldn't be too hard to port this map into multiplayer, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because everything just looks like it's the natural next step. And obviously, they may have to adjust some things to, it may be a little too large, but the core of the map should stay intact. And if I'm being completely honest, I would trade in one of the DLC maps from the season pass for this map. Alcatraz has such a history behind it, both in real life and in the Black Ops franchise. It would be just a shame to see it not stick around, at least in the very capacity that it's currently in as a Blackout mode, because we have no idea if this thing is going to stick around or if it's just going to be limited time. So it's just one of these things where only Treyarch knows what's going to happen, and they really haven't conveyed that message to the community. They could do a little bit better job of that. That's something that I really wish they would work on, because it'd be nice to know before we get attached to a mode too much. Is it going to be in the long-term plans for Black Ops 4, or is it just temporary? And if I had to compare Blackout Alcatraz to anything, it would probably have to be the Hot Pursuit, another custom Blackout mode that we had maybe a couple months ago, maybe a month or two ago, I can't even remember. But since both of these modes that you can respawn in, that's really the common denominator between these two things. That's what reminds me of Hot Pursuit so much, is because, in Hot Pursuit you could also respawn. Now, however, when you respawn in Alcatraz, you only spawn back in with a Strife pistol instead of an MX-9. Now, which is not that big of a deal, but it is noticeable at times, like for instance in those situations where you have the whole enemy team waiting for your arrival on a rooftop somewhere when you land. Now, if I had to give any advice for this map, I would definitely say you're going to want to run in squads, just for the simple fact that as of right now, the only option to play Alcatraz is through quads. So you don't want to have 3 idiots rolling around doing their own different thing. I mean, it's much easier if you have a group of guys that you know and trust, and you guys can lock down buildings and go have each other's back. That's going to be a major plus. So I feel like that's a given one though, so it's nothing too groundbreaking. But something that I did find out is when you down someone, don't kill them right away. Actually let them bleed out. You may be thinking, why would I want to do that? I could just easily kill the downed enemy and go on about my day. And you could, but the strategy is leave them alive. You're actually taking them out of the gunfight, because remember, what they want is to be able to hurry up and respawn. So the more you make them suffer and wait to bleed out, the less of a factor they're going to be in the game, because they can't do anything. They're at your mercy. And so hopefully during that time that they're dying out, the rest of their team will also die out, so you essentially eliminate the whole team just by not killing that downed enemy right away. The last tip I have for you guys is don't be afraid to enjoy Alcatraz to its fullest potential. I mean, go out there and be aggressive, push, treat it more like a multiplayer match than a Blackout match, because I feel like the Blackout matches play a little too slow for my liking. So just go out there, play like a multiplayer match and with your squad and see who wins, because that's the fun part of Alcatraz. That's what makes it so unique. The irony of the situation is, I feel like if we had something like Alcatraz, maybe not the map, just the mode itself, if we had something like that from the very beginning of Black Ops 4, I feel like Blackout would have been more of a success than it is currently. Because right now, Blackout is just seen as a failed imitation of like Fortnite or PUBG or something like that, when in reality all they had to do is really put a true Call of Duty spin, just like they did with Alcatraz Blackout. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little something different besides the usual multiplayer. Like I said earlier, I've had tons of fun in this mode, and I think you guys should all give this a try. And to help you do that, I think at the time of this recording, Blackout Alcatraz is free to play for everyone for a limited time, so be sure to hop on and play if you guys are interested in that. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to thumbs the video up. It helps me out tremendously, and I'll catch you guys in future videos. Peace.